Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the Ego tractor that I own. I've done a few videos on this tractor. I consider it a featured item on my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the battery, the follow-up battery that I had with the representative on their app. What I did is I did two videos on the battery performance and an issue I was having with charging them. And by the back end of the second video, I had resolved my problem. I had figured out what needed to happen to reset the tractor. In my first video, I didn't dawn on to me that maybe that's what needed to happen, is the tractor needed like a reboot, like a computer. Whereas during that first video, I was just pulling the batteries out one at a time, but leaving power in there as I left other batteries in there while I reseated the other ones. And for some reason, the tractor wasn't charging three of the batteries correctly. Well, what it was is the system has a unique way to power down. I'm going to talk about that in a second because we're going to go over this list here. And I want to say what I did is on this app through Ego app, you can have your registered vehicle, your tractor, in their system. And you can then give them feedback. And what I did is I said, look, could you watch these two videos? They address the beginning part of the, problems I was having, and then how I resolved those problems by just working through it. But yeah, I still had a few questions and concerns. Could you watch the videos and just let me know, just give me some information based on those questions and concerns? Well, what happened is they sent me a form letter response, and we're going to read that here in a second. I replied saying, well, I understand why you've got a form letter here, but 90% of what you're asking here, I have addressed in the two videos that I have just asked you to watch. You're looking all in 15 minutes. Because each video is like under 7 minutes, a little over 7 minutes. So I was like, look, just watch those two videos. They replied, oh, we'll take those videos into evidence, but I really still need you to answer all these questions. We're going to go over those in a second because they actually lead to me thinking about certain things about the tractor. And I think it will also spur your minds to think the same thing on your end. So we'll do that in a second. But I was like, no, I'm not going to really answer because it's not easy to answer those questions here. There's no way to copy and paste their questions. There's no spell check on the answer area. So it's like, okay, you got to memorize all the questions or print them somehow so that you can address them in this app. This app is not prepared to do any of that. So I politely said, no, I'm not going to do that. But it makes it very clear that you're not willing to watch those two videos because you haven't watched them, because we wouldn't be here right now. Ego, we wouldn't be in this discussion any longer if you had just watched the videos and answered the questions instead of just spoon feeding me a form letter to just answer what those videos would have easily answered. So we're going to go through those questions here because it's quite interesting what they're asking here in this form letter. All right. So yeah, today we're in my office. This is the Tarkus Zone office, and I just got, the tractor there and the thing. Hi there, we appreciate you reaching out. We have a few questions to ask regarding the battery charging problem. Please answer these questions and let us know. What was the battery percentage of the LCD for the last time you used, and how many times had the mower been used before the issue? Now, I explained all that in the video. All of that's explained in the video that I asked them to watch. Okay, so we'll move forward. What are the actual mowing hours? Again, all explained in the video. Did the issue occur during charging? If so, how were the batteries charged before dying? Again, I didn't say they were dying. I just simply asked them to watch the video. Again, that all is explained in the video. Which charger are you used? In the video, I show them an image of the charger. So they want me to tell them what charger it is. Again, in the video, easy peasy if they had actually bothered to take the time. Did the user disconnect the charging plug after charging was complete? I don't know why they're asking that. I mean, in the video, I did that a few times over 4 hours. Don't know what they're really asking. Any power outage during the charging? Whatever. I mean, come on. This is just nonsense they're asking me here. But some of this is going to make sense in a second. Were batteries kept inserted in the compartment and was the charger connected? if inserted in the compartment with or without charger connection, for how long, be as specific as possible. Again, in the video, I explain what was going on, how long it had been, all the times, everything they need to know here. So everything they've asked so far is all answered in the 2 videos I've asked them to watch, which obviously they refuse to watch and they don't want to watch. What was the temperature of the batteries when they were stored? Well, how would I know that? I can only tell you what the temperature was outside. And again, in that video, it's June in Vermont. 60 degrees? Come on. I mean, you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what temperatures I was dealing with when I did my video. If they had bothered to bother watching the video, which they refuse to do. In the end of this conversation, they're going to refuse to watch those videos. They want me to answer these things by, type them all out, which is not going to happen. But here we are. All right. Was the mower stored on a slope without engaging the brake? Now that's interesting. What would that have to do if was the mower stored at a slope? What is it? Doesn't charge if you on a slope because that's what they're asking here. Is it on a slope? Did you apply the brake on the slope, and are you charging it on a slope? Again, video would explain to it that no, I wasn't on a slope. So here we go. So any weight items on the mower on the seat when stored. Again, we saw in my videos, my very detailed videos that I did, that there's nothing on the seat. After the last use, did the user turn off the mower correctly? Now, this is the one that gets me. This is the one that's important, guys. Pressing down the power button, pulling out the key, and engaging the brake in that order. That's what they're recommending here when you stop the tractor and stop, when you stop, the first thing you did, so basically you pull it in, you've got to engage the brake, obviously, to stop or to release the throttle. So you get to a stop, and what they're saying is press the power button down to shut the unit off. Pull the key out, and then press in the brake and lock the brake into place. Then plug the unit in. And guess what, guys? There's a gem that answered the whole thing. Because today when I mowed my lawn and got it down to 2%, I followed that right there. So, this form letter seems to be a disgusting way for them to drive you mad. It just happened that I'm not an idiot. And I was like, okay, if they're asking that question, why don't I try that? So I pulled it in, shut it off, pulled the key. Normally I leave the key in all my devices. Took the key out, put it in the cup holder, applied the brake, plugged it in. 2 hours later, it was 100%. I unplugged the tractor, it was 100%. Now, I do want to say one more thing here that I did find out is how you reboot the system is pull all the batteries out and just wait 5 minutes. And the thing will discharge whatever the computer, it's like rebooting your computer at home, right? So I should have probably just done that to begin with. I kind of kicked myself for not thinking that to be the first thing I should do is just eliminate all power. So if you're having the tractor's having problems charging your batteries, pull them all out. You just have to push the buttons. You can leave them seated in there, just not down. Pull them all out. No power to it. Unplug the power and just let it sit there over 5 minutes. And then it will discharge all power, put all the batteries back in, plug it back in, and it seemed to reboot the computer to enough that it started reading the batteries correctly. So if you follow that instruction of pulling the batteries out when it gets hokey, and following my how to stop, with this question is power, battery, brake, and then plug it in. Okay. So how long since the mower was last used with the batteries? Again, that video explained that in detail. Does the LCDs turn on automatically after inserting the batteries without pressing the mower button to start? Again, that is in the video. We went over that in the video. Did the LCD indicator of the batteries and the mower start button still stay on after 1 hour of turning the mower off? And it does stay on while it's charging. And while the thing's charging, the LLC always stays on while it's charging. But if I unplug the charging, the LLC will drop out. It will just go blank. And then you push the button, the power button just once, and you can see at least the charge. And then if you hold it in, you turn the tractor on. So those were the questions. And again, as we went through this, in the end, they told me they weren't going to help me unless I answered those questions through the app The app is impossible to work with. Again, the copy paste don't work. I figured I would do this video, and what I'm going to do is when they respond again saying that, you know, you're not going to work with us, we're not going to work with you kind of thing, that's where they're at right now. I'm going to just say, look, I'm going to link this video that we're doing right here, and this answers those stupid questions you already would have known the answer to if you took 15 minutes to actually just watch the 2 links I sent you. Now, I get it. They probably are thinking, well, this guy could be a hacker. This guy's going to send us to porn. This guy's going to send us off to La La Land. Well, come on, guys. I mean, they're YouTube links. I mean, you could see that they were YouTube links. And for them to not even bother to watch them, maybe I'm small potatoes or whatnot, but it seems silly to me that they've got to, I'm going out of my way to create a video to explain what my battery issue was, and you're going out of your way just to spoon feed me a form letter, which is not easy to do on your app. So the app in this situation is totally worthless to you folks, because if you're going to put your feedback through their interface, it's not an easy way to get back to them without scrolling up, reading the questions, scrolling down. And it was just so dirty. I tried doing it. I said, no, this is ridiculous. They can take 15 minutes to watch the 2 videos. And if they're not willing to do that, that just tells me what they're just, the type of company they are is I guess I'm going to use the word, they don't give a shit. That's how I came out of it, was they don't give a shit. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.